Welcome to Vanishing Gates. I am Jay, and this is
The the very prepared Jack.
super
Per-
duper
super.
prepared.
Super. How have you been enjoying your stay in place?
Well, the upside is we're technically media. We're the news, if you would. So we are an essential. Our show.
I don't know if we.
So we're locked down in place,
Classified.
but we are technically an essential thing during this
I don't-
wonderful pandemic. Hi, Tara in chat. How are you today?
I apologize. I asked for a grape drink, and I got orange, and it's way
You
more
said
hectic.
orange was fine.
I was like, okay. No, I wanted the orange, but then you were like, "Let's get you this massive bottle," and I was like,
You didn't specify.
I'll drink all that over.
I didn't think a 2 liter was
days.
too much for you. Do not lay that sideways and have it blow all over the freaking soundboard, bro. What's wrong with you? Anyway, welcome to Vanishing Gates.
My bad.
So, how's everyone doing during the Apocalypse 2020? Tara in chat. Oh, you're not dead either. Sweet. Congratulations. We're all technically still here. Or you're not watching this.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not true. They could be watching it from the other side.
I mean, hypothetically. But hey, please like, follow, share, and subscribe. What better thing do you guys have to do than sit and listen or watch our podcast on the unexplained and the paranormal during
nothing.
the pandemic that's going to wipe out everyone? It won't. Hi, Bo in chat. How are you?
Fun fact,
So-
that's probably not true.
Yeah, I know. I actually look at what the CDC.gov says and stuff. I try to follow up on the stuff. The pandemic is upon us.
Well,
But that's not what we're going to talk about today.
nope. We could. There's actually a lot to talk about around
Dude,
this thing
it's
right
all
now.
anyone ever talks about. Let's bring some levity to the situation, huh?
Yeah, let's try.
Let's talk
Let's
about
try.
the best pickup lines during the pandemic, or the next generation. I came up with a few. I posted them on Facebook earlier.
Oh, go ahead.
Like, do the gloves match the mask? That's a pretty good one I came up with.
No, my
I would socially distance with you so hard.
my
That's
my
another one.
my favorite is probably if the coronavirus doesn't take you out, can I?
Oh, that's a good one. I hadn't. You didn't post that up. You didn't respond.
No, I didn't make that one.
Oh, you didn't make that one?
No, that's
Oh,
one that's been going around.
Terrible.
It's terribly awesome.
I was trying to come up with new ones. You need to give someone some credit.
I don't know whose it was.
Oh,
I'm not giving
man.
it.
We're not 6 feet apart.
This is true.
Dude, that's like another pickup line, Bo, in chat. I want to be less than 6 feet apart from you. That'd be dope. Please share the show, guys. Let everyone know. Because what else do you guys got to do? You're in quarantine. You're in lockdown. The country is shut down. The world is shut down. Yet half of the world says, nah, we're out. We're peacing out. We're walking around. So,
Well, you've got way too many people going out and doing things.
dude, I'm telling you, man.
What's happening?
Unfortunately, my regular job is an essential function. Fortunately, though, I'm happy that I'm working. I'm unhappy that
I'm still trying to figure out how this helps. Having
my
so many people
life is
still
less
working.
important than, people's shelves getting stocked. So,
I mean, people need
People
something
need
to
to
go out
learn to
during a
hunt.
quarantine.
people
People
to
need a
hunt.
reason to go out during a quarantine. So you got to essentially stock those shelves so that they can stay
No,
inside
it was,
longer.
It was hella funny because the sheriff's department was involved in the county-wide shutdown during the big presser they did. And they said, hey, go out, go to the parks, just don't play on the structures, go have fun, we want you outside. And the local police department's like, go outside and we'll arrest you.
That sounds about
It wasn't
right.
quite like that, but I mean, there was some miscommunication. Anyway, so,
Definitely.
man, what do we do to, oh, there's a doctor in the chat, too. Hi, Bridget, we love you.
Hey, Bridget.
Dr. B
God, it's been so long.
and the Heezy. So, what do we do to break up the monotony of having to hear about the fucking coronavirus every 5 minutes? What can we talk about that's not that? Because we can go into all the conspiracy theories we want. We can talk about all of the, pangolins. We can do another COVID show. I don't want to. I want to talk about something different. I want to lighten some people's spirits. Let's talk about spirits.
Spirits.
The ghosts.
The ghosts.
the humans that were.
The elephants in the room that no one can see or hear.
Is it more like heffalumps and
Probably
woozles?
don't exist.
Anyway, you are such a butthole sometimes. You say that, but you were too scared to play with the Wahaja board forever. And then we did a ghost hunt, and you're the only one that the ghost actually tried to communicate with.
Well, that's because he realized the realest person there was me.
Yeah,
Everyone
realize
else
the
is
right
living
word
in
for
a-
what you're doing.
In a world unto themselves.
Anyway.
What?
Anyway, so ghosts, the essence of the human soul, or are they demonic entities? Those of you in chat, let us know what you think, please. If human ghosts are still around, or if these are otherworldly things, or if there's something else going on. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, or email us at vanishinggates@gmail.com. Sorry, guys, I'm reading chat. Oh, sweet.
How's that sweet?
Well,
Bridget just
it means-
basically got pulled out of rotation. I'm pretty sure she needs that for money, right? Like, you probably work too.
There are times I've been pulled out of
Sweet,
rotation. and
Bridget
it
doesn't
hurt.
have money anymore.
We don't mean that, Bridget. We love you. For those of you that can't listen or that can't see the chat, one of our longtime vanishers, if you would, is a doctor.
Ooh. Yes, indeed. Anywho.
Anyhow,
So ghosts.
So-
I mean, what?
well, what do you think that the hauntings really are? What do you lean towards? Is it a human essence? Is there a
think
proprietary, like,
How many times have we gone over
an
this?
energy that's sticking around, or a demonic force, or is
feel
it
like-
something different, like an interspatial being?
It's what my personal thought on it was that it was basically someone's last memories burned into a space, like an electrical current.
Okay, so like a reoccurring kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so how do you think that works? What do you think causes that?
Well, they talk about intense pain, things like that, causing ghosts, quote unquote. Well, I guess maybe theoretically, it's we have electrons and shit like that flowing through our body. I don't know anything about biology or
scientific.
science. I'm so tired.
Very
You need to
scientific.
I probably have this virus, and you're all probably gonna catch it just watching. So everyone's doomed now.
Oh my gosh, $250,000 for 4 years, Bridget and Chad. You are getting robbed. Medical school be damned.
Yeah, I'm good. Like,
Start a
I'm just-
GoFundMe.
I'm gonna tell you right now that in the profession I'm pursuing, which is welding, they make I will make, depending on how well I do, and if I can get on the apprenticeship up in Alaska, I could make upwards of
And
30K a month.
for the folks listening on the podcast format, we try to communicate with those who are chatting with us on Facebook. We try to keep an open conversation going. Good God.
I just want to point out that burning metal and having fun, not having to stick my hands in someone's guts, might pay me more.
As a prior mortician, I find that to be very offensive,
Good.
but probably
offended.
accurate. Anyway,
Hey, if you ever need a welding done, I can stitch you up perfectly.
I can weld too. Ew.
Ew,
God.
Why go to a
does this
doctor?
Smell like bacon.
What? You don't need a doctor. I can do
clunky.
this with a torch and some
You're Dr. Bacon now.
metal and flux. That's cool.
Dr. Bacon's office.
A little bit of metal.
What is that? You
Don't
might
tip it again.
feel a little bit of cold and a
So-
lot of hot, searing pain.
I'm-
You're fine.
So I'm just gonna say that
Cauterizing
ghosts.
wounds,
Ghosts are,
trauma.
it's this is one of the problems that we have with our show, is particularly we usually like target a wide thing, and instead of talking about like individual ghosts or individual hauntings or things like that, because then we broad spectrum something, but the problem is nothing is the same as the next.
Well, that's kind of why we try to pick each other's brains. But like next week, we're going to do what you want to talk about, because I wasn't sure if you're going to show up, so I just kind of kiboshed on the research.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I wanted a ticket for traveling or not, but I was
not
like,
going to
you know
get a
what?
ticket. We're press. We are.
We are
Technically-
not technically pressed.
Yes, we are, because we talked about the news, so we're technically press. We are covered. Trust me on this one. I am obviously
a lawyer, a doctor.
Cough, cough. Not a real thing. All right. Okay, wait. Hold on in chat. Maybe ghosts are momentary dimensional overlap. They're alternate versions are seen momentarily. That is legitimate there. Thank you again, Dr. B in chat.
What would Bridget know? She's a doctor.
Yeah, right. Like, what do doctors know?
If I remember correctly,
probably
someone
a
on
lot more than
Facebook,
us.
someone on Facebook told me that none of this was real, and that it would blow over the next week.
I didn't say it wasn't real.
Not you.
Oh,
Not you.
Did I tell you, like, we're off topic again. We are rabbit trailing hard.
Oh,
we'll go into it later.
It's because we're both tired
Okay.
and we're under a stressful situation right now. We're just trying to like
I'm not stressed.
survive.
I'm finally
trying to find a
relaxed
place
for
to get
once.
toilet paper.
I have toilet paper. I'm not worried about it.
I am.
You ever heard about a bidet? Just take your garden hose and put it under your toilet.
I did that in the front yard. The neighbors complained.
No, you don't drag your butt on the grass. That's gross.
I know I use my garden hose. Why would I drag my butt on the ground? I'm not an animal.
I thought
Jesus.
I thought you were going to talk about it.
For the love of God, man. Where are you at with your head there?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. So, interdimensional rifts in energy placement into our current reality, I think that's a pretty good idea, what Bridget was saying. So maybe it's like this concurrence of energy, like you leave residual charge behind, and then the universes kind of collide and things get left over. It's kind of like the Mandela effect.
What's the Mandela
I know,
effect?
son
That's not a thing.
Bitch, I knew he was
You're
Every
just
time.
gonna walk away with it, huh?
Anyway, so it's like the universes collapse, and so we have residual memories, or we see something residually from other energies passed over. Because, you know, scientifically speaking, we produce energy. We leave energy behind.
So what if it's
every
just,
movement we do? Well, you've been studying BJJ.
What if it's not an alternate or an alternate world, but rather it's time that's past, energy from the past,
Well,
basically.
you leave it behind too. Like you can also leave. I think there might be a memory like of energy that the atmosphere has. Is the other thing. I think that's kind
Well,
of.
we're trapped in a giant water ball, so
I mean, that said, there could just be ghosts. There could just be human ghosts.
You
But
know-
like, so with the energy thing, you've been studying BJJ, and we rolled a
They
couple.
have taught me how to use
couple
chi.
weeks ago. Taught you how to
and
use
now
chi.
I can knock people
no
out with my
touch
thoughts.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. We're gonna
Don't
do
ask my teacher nor Andrew about it,
Our
'cause
buddy
they will
Andrew.
definitely.
I saw the video they posted up. It was very.
Say that it's possible to do it.
They did some dojo-y kind of stuff. It was kind of funny with that bullshido kind of thing.
Did they?
What do we call it? Martial farts was that episode we talked about fake martial arts. But so we rolled, you know, and you were pretty much. I mean, you're a little bit bigger than me.
Yep.
You know, you've been training. I haven't.
And I still lost. So
You tapped me a couple times. Now that said, I started martial arts when I was like 2. When I'm almost 40, and you're quite a bit younger than me, and you just started. So it's a big difference in the change. And what I
and
tell
then
you, though,
immediately, promptly, I was ripped away from my martial arts by
Yeah,
the
by
most
the-
inconvenient damn thing that could possibly
by
happen.
the Black Plague. Well, so but remember when we were rolling, I was calm and relaxed, but what I was doing was I was feeling where you were moving, and that's how I was able to figure out where to hold you from and how to get a hold of like the weak spots. I was following the trail of energy, not some weird chi stuff, but just how your kinetic movement was. So we do leave energy behind. We leave a trail of kinetic movement for sure. Now, emotional energy may also lead to the quote residual
Not a product
hauntings.
placement.
Yeah, please hide labels. Except for Mantovas. We're not going to hide that. We'll proudly promote Mantovas. We'll talk about their production company on the next podcast when I have things up and ready to go because I get all the info.
So what I'm saying here is that my opinion is it's essentially like, with me and Ghost, I believe it's essentially the brain when the brain hits a point of death because it's so traumatic that. Well, what is it? You lose like a certain amount of weight for something, and people aren't sure what it is. Maybe that's partially what it is. Something that's leaving.
Well, when you
It's
die, you
essentially
do
the
drop
brain-
weight.
brain just blowing.
You drop X amount of weight when you die. That's a real thing. You drop a few ounces. So that could
It's like
be
background
the spirit leaving
radiation,
the body.
essentially.
It could be all sorts of stuff.
Like when the brain dies, it's like radiation. It just depends on how violent the death was, things like that. And if it's bad enough that the brain essentially goes nuclear, and
So
it
you're
leaves
suggesting molecular weight can increase
Essentially.
during like duress and stress, things like that.
not the leaving the body, but that's kind of my thing is like when you're under that kind of strain, and then the body would lose that weight. What it is essentially, the brain's gone nuclear at the end.
Well, it's like the poltergeist thing. They attribute a lot of that to like girls who are around 13 going through, you know, their next cycle in life. And so the poltergeist activity now has been kind of, attuned to that. I actually have a friend who had the same kind of situation going on in their household. Girl hit 13. She was going through her, and then stuff started to happen around the house. And then she was kind of getting out of it, or it was normalizing and equalizing, and suddenly the activity just stopped altogether.
She's a demon, clearly.
Well, no, it might have just been the extra
Burn her
energy.
at the stake.
It might have just been the extra energy going around.
So burning her at the stake is the only idea that we have here.
No,
Quickly.
that's
Quickly.
That's not.
Destroy the things you don't understand.
No,
Destroy the things you don't understand.
We don't do that.
We don't do that?
No.
No. We're not 1820s Pennsylvania.
There were no witches burnt at the stake in America at all, ever. Period.
That's not true. There was one burned in Salem.
Nope.
I thought
False.
there was one in Salem, wasn't there? I
Not
swear there was
burnt-
one or two.
no.
That was it. It
Stake
was like that
burnings
was it,
happened
but
in Europe, not here. No stake burnings happened in America.
wow.
Fake news.
Why would you take that away from me?
Can you move your soda bottle so I can look at the
Could you?
screen over here? Jeez.
You're just taking it all from me now.
Oh, we're only 16 minutes into this. That's awesome.
We're doing great.
So well.
Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry
Man.
about it, everybody. We're gonna take you on a trip.
Bridget in chat says, "Are you talking about the stone tape theory?"
Well,
Jack?
Bridget, I appreciate the fact that you think
But he has no idea what the hell the
that
stone tape theory
I would have
is.
any idea what a theory was. I don't even think I know what the word theory means anymore, to be honest.
Bridget in
So,
chat, you want to let us know what the hell the stone tape theory is?
let me
I don't
know
know what that is either.
because I have no
we're
idea.
Not doctors, and it's
But
probably
you know what?
something really
I'm
simple.
just to sound smart. Yes, Bridget, it is the stone tape theory. That is exactly
Hold on, let me
what
Google
I'm
this real
talking
quick.
about somehow.
Let me get
Don't
really
even-
smart really fast.
don't even
I
worry
gotta
about it.
I gotta
Yeah,
become a digital genius.
Just
real
ignore him for a minute. He's not doing
yeah,
anything.
Jack's
He's
going to talk
it's
about
okay.
what he thinks about poltergeist.
Yeah, poltergeist, man. Stone tape theory. Perfect. Exactly what I thought it would be. I know exactly what it is. Don't you even worry. I will explain it.
No,
I'll
talk
have
about
Jay explain it.
poltergeist. I'm going to Google. I mean, I'm going to
I'll
reach into the
I'll have Jay is going
the
to reach
annals
into the
of my
ether.
mind palace and try to remember
Yeah,
what
the
hell it
annals of his mind
means.
palace and the ether, and he's gonna pull out this knowledge really quickly. Hold on.
Oh no! Oh, see, I'm reaching back in my mind palace.
Hold on. Is this like Sylvia Brown moment for you?
No, I'm moving back into my mind palace here.
Okay, he's in his
I'm
mind
opening
palace,
the
everybody.
door. I had to go 2 floors down and
He's entered
open a
the mind
big door.
palace.
The stone tape theory is speculation that ghosts and hauntings are analog.
That sounds like the doors were too heavy in his mind palace. He's having
Oh
a hard
man,
time
that door
opening
shut.
that.
There was a draft in the mind palace.
The mind
And that
palace.
son of a
The
bitch
mind palace had a
hit
bit
my
of too
hand
much
really
going
hard.
on there.
So hold on.
Hold on, he's got that stuff. Don't even worry.
Analogous to tape recordings, and that mental impressions during emotional or traumatic events can be projected in the form of energy, recorded, quote unquote, from the Mind Palace book, guys. I'm not reading this from my phone at all.
Yeah, no.
Onto rocks or other items.
Ignore the man behind the
Replayed
curtain.
under certain conditions. Oh, terms and conditions may apply. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
how was the
totally-
trip into the mind palace?
Oh man, it was
Did you get
almost
lost?
like I had to push a couple buttons and bring it up.
Yeah, it's super easy these days to get in the mind palace.
The mind elevator.
It's
is
almost like we
working
don't have
really
to think
well.
for ourselves anymore. Anyways.
I've never heard it called that though. I'm familiar with what it was saying because I was kind of trying to get there with the.
Well, stone
And
tape
that's what
theory kind of spells it all
Robert
out.
the
like
doll
an
is.
easy...
Well, I didn't know that.
And Robert the doll?
Yeah,
Is
because
he part of that
there's a
theory?
spiritual thing that goes on and connected to him.
I thought he was just possessed.
You never know.
I thought, you know what the messed up part, and everybody hear me out
It's
right
like
now.
haunted objects. Let's put it that way.
No.
Instead of Robert. The
Hold on, let me put it like this. At the beginning of, I can't remember which movie it was with the Warrens. It was, I can't remember which one it was. It was, oh God, hold
Was it
on,
Anal
brain
Bell?
stopped working. No.
Hmm.
No.
Oh, that's a different movie.
It was
Totally
it was one of
different
their
genre,
first
too,
movies
probably.
in their series. I can't remember if it was Amityville or the newest Amityville, or if it was
Well, they didn't do the Amityville horror.
first
dude.
one.
They were involved in the Amityville horror.
See,
They
there's
didn't do
one
the
where he's
Amityville
giving a
movies.
speech at a school at the beginning of. It's like one of the hauntings or whatever.
Oh, a haunting
It's
in Connecticut or something.
Something
or-
I don't know which one it is, but he's giving a
Yeah, I didn't
speech,
watch
and
any of them.
he blatantly says at the beginning, demons cannot possess objects, and then they made Annabelle, and I'm just sitting here like,
Well, it was also a movie though, so
what? So I'm just confused why they have a museum full of artifacts if demons can't possess objects because there's nothing.
Why do
They're just-
you think Zach Bacon's
they're
has
just
a
stealing
museum
stuff from
full
people.
of haunted stuff, dude?
They're just stealing stuff from people.
Well, you remember the haunted pilfer? I like to call him. I think they called him the haunted collector. That's like the Warrens' nephew or something. I think.
He sounds like a darling man.
He actually is a pretty cool guy, from what I hear. He collects stolen.
Oh.
He collects haunted stuff. Disclaimer: I meant haunted. For the love of God, don't sue me. I can't remember your name. But he had that show where they'd go and they'd investigate. They'd find an object that was haunted, and he'd take it back to his little museum. So they called him the haunted collector. I think I called him the haunted pilferer.
He went into
This jewelry, it looks really haunted.
wow.
This Tiffany
this golden
chandelier.
necklace is Tiffany
This
chandelier.
Tiffany chandelier
Hey,
is definitely
would you come in and
possessed.
look around Fort Knox
I'm gonna
real
take
quick?
it over to my
Just go
museum
through the gold vault. Go through the gold vault at Fort Knox
I'm
and help
not
find
gonna
it.
say
I'm
it's
gonna
not
say this
legitimate.
entire pillar of gold here, this entire brick, this is all haunted and needs to
Hey,
come back to
hold
my
on.
museum.
As a man of pseudoscience,
Needs to come back, and I'll figure out
I'm
which
just
one.
saying that may or not be accurate. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't know. That's
our
legit.
pseudoscientist nature is good. I almost said scientistness.
Scientistedness.
Yeah,
I
because
just
my brain just like
scientisted
stops.
all over this.
My brain palace has been closed for a little while.
Mind palace.
My
It's
mind
actually-
palace.
That's actually a psychological.
My mind palace has been telling
practice,
me
you know?
no, and my body just keeps talking and saying yes. Okay, this
My
is a
mind
problem.
palace is telling me no, but my body is saying, "Hey, just hit the elevator button. It's fine. We got this. We'll
Don't you
crash
worry about it.
right through the top."
No one cares. Hit the accelerator. It's gonna work
What are we
out.
even talking about anymore?
We were talking about ghosts and the fact that I thought that when
We're
the brain
talking
died, it went
about the
nuclear and
stone
left
tape
the
theory?
stone
Is that
tape.
what
Yeah,
it's called?
that
Thank you,
that
Bridget.
theory. Why are you bringing Bridget? I'm the one
Dr.
who
B.
thought of it.
No,
and you
Dr.
went and
B
got
is
your
in the
mind palace.
house. I had to go through my mind palace on mind palace / cell phone.
I feel like what you mean to say.
My
is you
mind
just
palace
Googled it.
has a touchpad and a good interface for a search engine. Mm-hmm.
My
That's
mind
what
palace is locked 24/7.
Probably for the best. I hope it's locked from the outside.
I'm pretty sure an alien put like a chip in my head and stopped me from accessing it, or I'd become a dictator eventually.
Yeah, you're not going to be a dictator. Just
No,
a dick.
that's what he
Tater.
thinks. What he doesn't know is this whole outbreak will end with me ruling the world.
Okay, so that is a funny thing to branch off of and rabbit trail, because that's what we do here at Vanishing Gates. We branch off instead of actually covering things.
Welcome to the rabbit trail.
So,
We should change our
The
name to the
government
rabbit
was-
trail. The vanishing story.
man,
The vanishing.
can we continue with what I'm saying? If
The
we're just-
vanishing
Can we
point.
continue with my rabbit trail before we go to another rabbit trail?
Yes.
The government was about to talk about you. They were talking about UFOs and disclosing things, and suddenly, outbreak, boom. Now no one cares about aliens anymore.
People can't. You know what? Maybe this was a test to see whether or not people can handle aliens, and I'm pretty sure everyone once again
Oh
failed.
God, we failed.
Oh, my
Human
gosh.
species failed hard on this one. Our fight or flight went into flight.
Every 100
Flight and
years, they
freeze.
tried to talk to us again, and then every 100 years we fail it. They're just
think-
like, never mind.
I think like 20 of us made it. I think we just disproved social Darwinism with this experiment. That is this disease.
It's not Darwinism. It's evolution.
Social You don't. Okay, all right, we're not going to go there. Anyway,
Oh,
so
wait,
back to
hold on.
ghosts.
Is there something? This is something that's always confused me because Darwin's theory was evolution, right? So what is social Darwinism? Is that a thing? Is that a thing, Jeeves?
What? Who's Jeeves?
I've decided to call you Jeeves.
Are you English now?
Yes.
Oh.
Quite.
Sorry, fresh out, Papo. I don't know what Papo means, but it sounded good
Yes, it did
in
not.
my head. I'm more
Anyways.
pissed off that Khabib's not going to be fighting Tony Ferguson.
Wow, we just wandered right the hell out of the supernatural.
I think I said that last week too in my bitch about COVID-19.
Yeah, keep bitching. It's not going to change.
Anyway,
Nothing you do is going to change
the
that.
universe doesn't want that fight to happen because Khabib is still praying it doesn't. Just saying.
He's probably really worried. But anyway, so
Continue.
no, I mean, that's my theory about ghosts. Is that essentially it's just I literally went right back.
So
yeah, you
those
can
of
suck
you
that
who
up.
can
Listen here.
pause your brain and catch up 20 minutes ago.
Pause.
Jack.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Jesus.
Wow,
that
what
was
happened there?
loud.
That was a pop.
You mouthed the mic really hard.
Anyway, so that's my theory about ghosts. And as for aliens and the
You
ideal
didn't even
that
have a theory about ghosts. You just
That was my
splattered
favorite
about.
ghost.
No, we bounced off what Bridget said with the stone tape
But
theory.
that's essentially what my theory was that the ideal that they leave behind a trace of energy on items or something around the room.
We're reeling it back. There we
in
go.
a space.
Good.
And it causes that anytime someone enters the area, it basically creates a battery effect. So when someone steps into an area, it activates the memory.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the more stressed you are, the more energy you produce.
So, like the quote, residual hauntings are more likely to be what you think of as real hauntings.
Yeah, and so when you have issues where you're stressed out and you're freaking, maybe I don't know, Bridget, you could correct me, but essentially your body starts to produce more energy. So you're freaking out, your heart is pumping faster.
Yeah, no, that's
so
legitimate.
You're basically turning yourself into a heavier battery, and you happen to cross a room where someone died brutally, and all of a sudden, click, you become a battery for that thing. And that's why they say they need energy to drain you. They drain you from energy. What it is actually is you're basically just pumping into an old memory that doesn't know you're there.
The thing is, energy doesn't really dissipate. It either gets wider or it stays the same.
Well, perhaps that's why.
Am I wrong? I could be wrong about this.
Perhaps that's the ideal of what happens with these things. Is that the more people throughout history, people like to be scared. So you can't talk about you can't fathom that people didn't want to go to haunted locations. I would honestly believe during a time when they had nothing that we had. They went out, they hunted. They didn't really have fun like we have nowadays. They don't have access to all this entertainment. So when someone said, "Hey, someplace is haunted," some jerk ass is going in there and tagging it in ancient Aramaic up on a wall, right? So
I mean, I don't know if I'd tag an ancient Aramaic.
That's what those cave paintings are. I'm going to tell you people right now, we never lived in caves even once. Someone said there's a ghost in there, and someone said there's a ghost or a Bengal tiger in there or a saber-toothed tiger, and some caveman went there and said, "Ugh was here," and drew a picture of himself with the tiger. Got eaten, of course. But then when people would find it,
we were born in grass huts, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and we were born in grass huts.
Maybe not look to you for science.
In grass huts. Nature created grass huts, and we lived in grass huts. That's how it all started. Nature created grass huts immediately.
I'm glad you haven't lost your sense of humor during this plague that's going to kill us all and turn us all into ghosts.
No, why would I have lost my sense of humor? Why? Why would we live in caves, by the way?
I was never sure you found a sense of humor.
Why would
have
we
you ever
live in
slept
caves?
in a cave? It could be quite cozy.
Can it?
Mm-hmm.
I've never slept in a cave.
I have.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Explains a lot.
Not really. Well, you go hiking, you explore a cave. Now, I don't go spelunking, though.
But seriously, think about it for a second. Those cave paintings are probably legitimately just some ass
The first
writing on the wall.
survival is to find shelter. You don't
hold
find
on.
shelter, you're probably
But come on, you have to tell me. You cannot tell me that some of these places that have those drawings on their walls literally isn't some asshole with spray paint with a rock essentially going out there just drawing on the wall.
I don't think that spray paint existed prior to 1940s.
As rocks, it was
Or 50s.
It was an analogous statement about rocks and spray painting.
An analogous statement? An analogous? Now you're trying to use that term because I can't pronounce it very well. Early man was theorized to be tree-dwelling, I believe.
You're damn right. Thanks, Bridget. They lived in trees.
Well, that would explain our propensity for wood. Uh-huh. Oh, that's
only the best in comedy here.
Low-hanging fruit for a reason, boys and girls.
Must have been when we were trees. Anywho, so
I'm not even gonna try to pick
go right over
apart. Yeah, we're just gonna roll over that like a dead chipmunk in a roller coaster. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what a Moro startle reflex is, but I'm pretty sure I don't have any of these things.
What happens when a doctor
left.
gets in the chat and starts calling us out on our bullshit?
Yeah, what? This is why it's great to have a doctor as a viewer on Vanishing Gates, because whenever we start talking, we are sure to get called the hell out immediately.
Hell yeah.
Like I don't want to be right. I want to learn something today. I've just learned that a Moro startle reflex exists.
Bridget in chat,
which I'm having a baby, so I'm cool with that.
So correct me if I'm wrong, though. So I've been watching people walking around with masks on, and none of them are infected by the coronavirus.
Masks don't help,
but it won't stop them from getting infected. Right? Am I wrong?
Oh, that makes sense, Bridget. In chat,
the newborn startle
throws its arms out. That's why they do that startle reflex where they jerk their arms upwards.
Maybe we just dropped babies a lot before we at daycare centers, Bridget.
I'm just going to say this flat, okay? Humans are an alien creation. None of these things you understand are real. It's a lie.
Hippo preposterous. Dude,
the pyramids are an ancient energy source that stuff would land on. That guy with the really tall hair is actually an alien.
First of all,
he's just trying to help us. He's just trying to help us come to the terms of this.
He was an alien. You know, I've been trying to find a way to get him on the show, and I can't.
Why not?
Because I don't know how to get a hold of him.
What?
Well, there's a lot of fake leads. N95 90.
Stop buying N95 masks,
or
jackasses.
For healthcare workers.
It's to stop drool and spittle from getting in the inside of a wound. It is not going to save you from coronavirus. And if you have it, you are wearing a mask.
You are wasting it unless you are in fact infected.
Leave the N95 alone.
It helps stop you from spreading the illness.
We need that guy who said leave Britney alone to get up here and say that.
We got certified by a doctor just now, one of my comments. Boom. Boom. It's a thing.
Certified fresh.
That says, I did see a guy with a rebreather today, which does have full filters, and that will actually probably help.
Well, I mean, only use it for sick people.
Bridget in chat, you are correct. It's only for people that are
use
sick.
It, because that way you're not spitting particles into the air.
Yeah, or, aerosol particles in general. Also, wash your fucking hands. How is it no one knew how to wash their hands before this? And we're talking about ghosts.
Some of the most watched videos now are hand washing videos. I'm pretty sure because that's what really scares me. Is how many people weren't washing their goddamn hands.
I've had people sharing hand washing tutorials on my Facebook page.
Yeah, me too.
How did you not know how to do this?
How many of you didn't hold on? This is one of those moments where some of y'all didn't work in fast food and your hand washing techniques show it. Like that's what it needs to be. Because clearly...
It just means some of these people were raised by diapers. Wet diapers with a little bit of warmth. That's about what that means. Anyway, back to ghosts.
Clean your damn hands, people. Clean them.
Don't spread the infection. Stay away from old people.
Anywho.
Because they're actually the ones that are going to get hurt by it.
My theory is that there was, there were people that would go back and they would... and actually, I was going somewhere with that theory of tagging places. But... is that people would hear about haunted locations and they would go for, shits and giggles, and they'd get there and they'd put their energy into it. Like you said, energy doesn't dissipate, it expands. Well, and so more and more and more people would go there to get startled, but you'd have a lot of people who weren't afraid of stuff like that. Like you would go in there and you'd just be kind of like, oh, this is creepy, but someone like me who's kind of worried about the dark and hobos jumping out and stabbing me with syringes, I would be like,
oh, dude, the zombies have been roaming around town so hard right now because it's a close down. I'm sidetracking again. Because of the close down, the recycling centers are closed. So their number one source of income is now back to theft instead of recycling that they just take out of people's garbage.
Theft is about to explode when the lockdown finally happens.
No, it's happening already. The tweakers, because we don't have regular homeless folk. We have full-on zombie tweakers in Humboldt County. If you guys haven't seen Murder Mountain,
you don't even need to see Murder Mountain. I'll tell you what. Half of you just need to Google Humboldt crackheads or... something like that, and just watch. And the thing is, you'll see one of those videos.
The Only in Humboldt Facebook page.
You'll see one person on there. You'll be like, oh, that's so sad to see.
We are
that is all of them.
Our county is the entire Florida of the West Coast.
Yeah, our county is Florida. It's all of Florida.
It's Northwest Florida
into one little tiny town. It is just it is a nightmare.
It's preposterous. Well, we don't have alligators though.
We do have gator probably, which is a form of heroin mixed with.
That's crocodile.
Oh, that's crocodile.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, not gator.
That's
gator needs
corrosive. Gator needs his gat.
You're on the wrong page on that one, but no, it's crocodile, and that's still here. Yeah,
it's probably that's still here. Anyways, the point is that people would show up and they would they wouldn't be afraid of something, and so they wouldn't be putting a lot of energy into it, so it wouldn't expand from them. So you get more people probably not afraid going in there, and then as time goes by, people get less afraid because no one gets hurt.
So the energy kind of stifled.
Yeah, it just kind of stifles, and it sits there until another person who's afraid, another person who's afraid, another person who's afraid, and then eventually you get to the point where enough people have gone in that are terrified of the situation that the memory is semi not coherent, but it's like you've essentially brought back a person essentially.
Like like you hit it with a jolt.
Yeah, you've hit it with enough of a jolt. It's like resuscitating a person with
like you defibrillate
with a defibrillator. Yeah,
and
you've hit it with enough that it just stays.
So that's why people like Lorraine Warren walk into a place that nobody else can sense the energy, and they're like, oh, there's a ghost here.
Honestly, I don't feel like people that are psychic are real, but I also don't think that
motherfucker, you said you're psychic.
I am not psychic. I say that as a joke.
Oh, okay.
That's levity.
Oh, okay. You're levitating right now?
Yeah, I'm not a psychic. I promise. I'm not a psychic as far as I know.
It's funny though, because...
Or maybe I'm denying it. Ooh, am I denying it?
Dude, I'll walk into places that... Like, we've done a couple paranormal investigations for the show. We did one at Mantovas, which was crazy because me and Anthony heard some stuff that you didn't hear when you were talking to the spirit box. And then the other one we did, there was nothing. It didn't even feel like it. So it's like, but there have been buildings that I can walk towards, and I can't walk to the threshold of the building, and something in my body goes, nope, don't go in there. And I
I've had
don't
those
have a
issues.
flight reflex. I have a fight reflex. You fight, you fly, or you pause and die. And
I have that issue.
And mine is fight. But I've been trying to, like, because I did some urbexing before, and I was about to walk through the front door of an abandoned house here in town. And I was like, I couldn't get through the threshold. My body wouldn't let me do it. My brain's like, nope, you're not going in there. Not even a little bit. Turn around and leave. And I tried to get through it. I was like, no, we're doing this.
If you
And
guys-
something was like, no, you aren't. It was like a fucking force field keeping me out of it.
There's a chance that, like, here's the thing. I fully believe in the survival instinct, because actually I believe, and I know I'm going to get crap from Bridget probably from this, but I believe that there was a form of communication that was nonverbal. It was
Well, hell, dude.
it was semi-psychic. It wasn't psychic, but it was semi, the ability to sense. Our ability to sense danger was a lot more heightened. We were capable
people
of knowing when
do
something
still
was in the area.
communicate without verbal. See, a lot of people forget we do still communicate as people non-verbally.
Physically and things like that, yeah.
Well, no, like
Body language.
our senses work in a certain way. Body language, the odor you produce, the pheromones you put off, like that. There's a thing that goes on. You're communicating, whether you're intentionally communicating or not.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's what I mean.
That's why girls wear perfume, dudes wear cologne. You're non-verbally communicating something. Putting on makeup or putting on nice clothes, you're non-verbally communicating. Like humans exist on relationship and communication.
Well,
That's what keeps us going as a species.
what I'm saying is there was a full way to, like, communicate with people at one point. There was a way of sensing whether or not someone was angry in a more heightened way. And I believe that maybe people who are psychic simply have the ability to tap into what was left behind a little better than other people.
I'm not at all claiming to be psychic at all. Like I would say maybe I'm empathetic, but that still comes from certain awareness of human emotion. It's not based on some kind of magical ethereal thing that I don't think so anyway. But I can usually guess what people are going to do based on certain things. You know, I can kind of see the course of where things are going because I'm good at strategy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying with when it comes down to the haunting aspect is when you have someone who goes in, they still have some of that left over from when we didn't have a way of communicating other than, like, verbal or
So you
other
think
than
maybe that
nonverbal.
energy does hit people, and it's like a non-verbal communication,
Essentially,
not
it's
necessarily
it's,
psychic.
It's
but
less
the
that it's
energy hits you.
communicating, because the energy's not trying to communicate. What it is, it's just energy that's there, and it's a pocket of a memory, and it's just pent up, basically or pent up memory that's sitting there. And then someone who's psychic comes by, or psychic is actually just someone who has that ability to extra perceive what someone's feeling.
That's why they say sensitive now. It's like they're sensitive to the energy around them, and so that energy kind of hits them, and they're able to emotionally and rationally break it down and
like
compartmentalize
Bridget's saying, your subconscious observation of all the stuff Jay just listed is very strong and not always recognized by the conscious. Could be mistaken for psychic or empathetic ability. That's what I'm saying, is it's just mistaken for something, but it's actually just people who have maybe a line didn't evolve all the way, and so it didn't go away. Because the thing is we don't need, after time went by with verbal communication, a lot of this stuff was unnecessary. You kind of just knew someone was going to shoot you when they held a gun up to you. And you kind of knew what was going to happen. And that's the thing is most people probably have lost a lot of these arts, like Bridget's saying, body language, slight changes of facial expression, scent, things like that. And over time, when perfume and stuff came along, scent kind of went out the window because you could never tell if someone was like they had a heightened heart rate from sweating.
It's not always true
So
either.
if they were afraid, they would sweat. And then, body language, now people kind of learned how to lie through body language.
I think we just kind of close our eyes to things. And I don't mean that directly. I mean, we do close our eyes to things, but I think we close our mind off to things. We forget that there are very physical explanations to certain things. Like I learned growing up studying like martial arts and all sorts of other violent crap. Growing up, you learn to feel your surroundings. Like we had a birthday party at Sequoia Park. It was a big park. I don't know if
Was this before or after we were not allowed to do that?
Before it all got shut down.
And that's why everybody got quarantined.
All the kids, and there was probably like 30 kids hanging out for, I think it was Seamus's birthday. We did the laser tag. It started pouring rain. I don't think you were there for that, but
No,
this year, or
I was out of
last year.
town, I think.
And they all ran down to the duck pond. Now, if you guys don't know Sequoia Park, which you probably won't if you're not local, there's this big trail that goes down. And you follow the trail down, and you get to this nice little, what used to be a duck pond. Now it's just a big hole of bullshit because they're fixing it. Oh yeah, because there was an invasive species someone tossed in there.
Oh, good.
It used to be turtles and great ducks and stuff and whatever. So what I did was I gave him a head start. And there's this big pioneer chimney down at the bottom of the trail. You know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And I took my shoes off and I just dove in and crawled through the roughage and
Someone
beat him
threw an
down.
invasive species in there.
Of some fashion. I'm
People
not
are
sure
just
what.
pieces of shit sometimes.
Yeah, it happens. But so I beat him down there, and I wasn't really looking where I was going too much. I just knew the path. I knew the trail. It wasn't a trail I was going through because I was going through the roughage. I was going through the bushes, and I was barefoot. Most of it was me on my tummy, just like belly rolling down, like just sliding through like a slug and a snake, and just kind of like cat pawing through. And I beat him down there, but I could hear him coming, even though the rain was pouring. I could tell when they were coming, so I could hear part of their footsteps, and I could smell like something different in the atmosphere, and the energy was different too because then the commotion's going on from them hitting the ground, plus their whatever they're emitting out of their bodies. Even with the rain, there's still energy emitting out like a beacon.
Yeah, but the rain would block all of that.
No, it didn't. No, not at all.
The rain is.
I'll tell you what. You get hunted by a mountain lion. You tell me that the rain blocks it all off. And it ain't all scent. It's a combination of things that fit together. Bridget in chat, Dr. B. You have centers of the brain devoted to analyzing emotion from facial expressions. Certain strokes or brain defects can make people unable to tell emotion from faces.
Common.
That is absolutely true.
But here's my point. Ghosts aren't real.
That's not true either. I'm not sure they're human spirits. Let's put it that way.
And I have to drive home and risk a ticket.
You're not going to get a ticket. There's no mandatory freaking lockdown time. I have the actual paperwork that says we're on lockdown, but we're not on actual it's not a real quarantine, and there's no freaking
martial law.
No, yeah, there's definitely not martial law because people understand how that.
Let's go martial law. One of the greatest fighters in all of Tekken history, martial law. I can't believe they fact checked that. Did you see that?
Caught that
they
was his name.
Pulled that down, and
I never even caught that. I never put that together. No,
neither did I until the other day.
I never put that together in my head.
Martial law, and then I loved how they fact checked it and then pulled it. Like they started banning it.
All right, we'll start wrapping it up so you can go home and not get a ticket or a stern warning from law enforcement. Even though there's no actual legal ability for them to do that, aside from we said we could, not a real thing.
As far as I know, there is actually at this
Your
moment.
press. You are people that can be where you're going.
Your mom's
This is press. No curfew. There is no curfew. Thank you, Bridget.
Are you stuck inside, Bridget?
Anyway, so that said, guys, if you have stories you unexplained, the paranormal, Dr. B, if you want to send us some cool stuff or tell your students and whatnot about us, have them send their stories, true crime, unexplained, whatever it was, to vanishinggates@gmail.com, or even message us here. Heck, I don't care. Shoot me an IM. I'll answer it. Follow us on Twitter, all the other places. Check us out on Apple Podcast. What?
Send us something.
No, don't worry about that. Don't send us something.
No, send us a story.
Oh yeah, that.
Send us a story.
Yeah, that. Don't send us
I don't like objects.
I was kind of worried you were trying to get some kind of powdery white substance to kill us in the mail.
Wow, that is so 2001.
Yeah, very. Anyhow, so vanishinggates@gmail.com. Check us out on the Facebook. If you are listening to the podcast instead of watching, you should be watching too, but also downloading. We love it when you guys watch and listen. It helps us out. So check us out on all the formats.
9/11 was almost 10 years ago.
It was more than 10 years
20
ago.
years ago?
No. What?
18 years ago?
What is wrong with you?
How long ago was it?
Stop talking. You're making yourself look worse.
I feel worse. What was I asking?
No,
9 years ago.
No.
Was it 9 years ago?
No.
Was it? How old was I?
Dude, it happened in 2001.
But yeah, that's what I thought. That's 18 years. That's
No, stop trying to math. Stop mathing.
That's 19 years ago.
You sound like
Nailed
you're on,
it.
No, it's not. You sound like you're on methamphetamines. Anyway, so
How was
we
it not 19 years
are
ago?
on lock.
2001 to 2020.
Might be 19.
Wow. You just made me feel really stupid.
2002, sorry. It was 2002.
Wow, was it? Oh my god,
18
I'm
years
so
ago.
old. 18 years ago. Haha. What? Nope, she corrected herself.
Oh,
2001.
I was right. Damn it. This is why you don't listen to
Bridget.
doctors about
Bridget.
everything.
This is why no one listens to doctors, Bridget.
Go check or the CDC and stay the hell inside. Shelter
This is
in
why.
place.
This is why people
No,
use
I'm
home
cool.
remedies.
These essential oils are going to cure COVID-19. It's not a problem.
These essential oils, this patchouli
Coconut
oil, and these crystals.
Hear if I rub coconut
these
oil
crystals-
and crystals all over my body, I won't get COVID-19.
Bridget, is there any sense that if I laid in essential oils and crystals in a bath that it would cure COVID?
Anyway,
Can you verify?
That said, to clarify,
Can you verify crystals and essential oils
Anyway.
cure COVID?
to clarify, oh my gosh, I was correct on the time and date, and I got fake fact checked. That's crazy. It never happens that way. I'm usually wrong.
Oof.
Typo. Okay.
I knew it was
No worries,
2001.
Bridget, we
I was
love
like,
you.
I'm old. I know when that is.
Anyhow, I know when it was. It was the year I got out of high school. So
19 years ago. We're a whole person old.
I'm almost 2 whole people old, so I don't want to hear about it. That said, what the hell was it? A couple things I want to throw out there before we go. Again, email us your stories at Strange and Explained. Please let us know. Hell, what else you got to do? You're on lockdown. The world's on lockdown unless you're out there just tooling around, giving everybody the COVIDs.
Just binge watch and listen to Vanishing Gates. Download, get it out there. Let's
binge watch and listen. I would just say watch the newer stuff on Novosh. Yeah. Anyway.
Ooh, COVID is a virus. It will run its course or kill you. Either way, it will end its life.
Yeah, it's going to end its own life. It's a virus. It's going to run out just like the flu virus does.
Good
It's
to
actually
know.
dying out in places that are
But-
hot now too. So yeah.
Wait, but so what you're
There
saying is
is
crystals and
an
essential oils
alleged
will not cure it.
There is an alleged cure.
You can't cure a
Stanford
virus.
Came out and said that there was a cure.
If they
for
could
the
cure
first time
virus,
ever.
AIDS wouldn't exist.
No, that's not true. Hepatitis has been cured. Hepatitis C.
That's
There's
not
a
how
cure
that
for it.
works. That's not
No,
how any
there
of
is
this
a cure for
works.
hepatitis C. Google it.
But, the problem is they can't
Anyway.
figure out how to cure a virus. Isn't that it? I thought that was it. That's
Yeah,
why they have people cure
hypothetically.
AIDS or cancer.
Well,
they probably have cures
They
for those. They just
cured
charge millions of
hepatitis
dollars
C.
for them.
Like, there's a
And they
cure
want
for
people to
hepatitis
die,
C.
so they
It's
don't
just
wanna, like,
$80,000 a
help
treatment.
people.
It's like 3 treatments. So don't count on getting hep treatments. So don't use needles, folks. Don't share
Yes.
needles.
Please don't share needles.
Just
Don't
use
use needles
fresh
at all.
ones.
In fact, don't go to doctors. Don't go to doctors.
Don't sew.
Don't help yourself. Sit in a chair and pray to God you don't get
Oh my
COVID.
gosh. Anyway, so that said, and I actually know someone with COVID, so and they're doing fine,
They're doing great.
just fine.
Yeah, I was actually listening to a study. It was most 90% of people who get it or something like that are gonna have mild symptoms. Like
Yeah,
not
the
even like
CDC, I think it
full blown
just came out and said
cold or flu.
We're
just
probably all going to
mild.
get it if we don't already have it, and 99% of us will be just fine. So that said, though, people that aren't feeling good or that aren't doing well, have a
Bridget's arguing
compromised immune
semantics.
system.
Treatment is kind of different than cure. Kinda.
Well, no, there
Bridget.
was a study Stanford put out. It was a peer-reviewed study. And that France actually has a cure for it. So does Australia. Like they mixed a couple drugs together.
I have a cure
one
for it.
HIV and one. I could be totally wrong though.
Listen.
I'm just telling. I'm repeating what I heard on the news. But
Bridget-
again, it's the news.
Bridget,
so
as a doctor, I have to
what do
ask
I
you:
know?
is the fastest cure, the actual fastest cure for something like COVID, AIDS, or cancer,
Lead.
in fact a 357 bullet to the head?
Oh, dude, you could have just said lead. And
North
it wouldn't have been
Korea.
So weird.
North Korea has cured COVID every day since it started.
No. Eradication and cure are 2 different things. Cure means you don't just treat the patient, but you let them live.
Yeah, but
It's not a
the North Koreans
cure.
are standing there like, you're the disease
wrong
and
with
we're the
you?
cure.
Anyway, so talking about cures and stuff.
You
maybe
know,
this is
I
the
feel
wrong
like they
time
should
to
have played
bring
a
up
Cure
what we're
song
doing
if
for our
they had said
charity
that.
stuff.
Oh, charity.
Mm-hmm.
I like charities.
So want
Charities
to talk
are
about
good for
this?
people.
Do you want to do this, being that you're so aggressively weird right now?
I'm tired.
So we are actually raising money for a charity.
Yep.
So 100% of the proceeds, if you go to our, I'm trying to give you the heads up here, Jack.
Our Facebook page?
Patreon.
Patreon.
Yeah. If you go and become a patron to our Patreon for the rest of the year, 100% of proceeds are going to go to the Never Alone Foundation. This is a foundation out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And it goes to help people with cancer who are very ill or recovering they do great things. They try to just improve the quality of life for people suffering through cancer. And it's super awesome. So if you go to our Patreon page and donate 100% of if you can become a patron, through the end of this year, 100% of the proceeds are going to go to the Never Alone Foundation. They've helped out one of our long-term viewers, one of our first viewers and listeners, Dave, our buddy there. He's the one that brought it up because we had talked about doing something kind, which in this day and age, this is the time to do something good. This is the time to help people out.
Yeah, this
People
is
with
the time to be there.
compromised immune systems, they're especially right now, this is a real hard place to be. So, what I want to say is go to the Patreon and donate. And I'm not going to take a penny of it. It's all going to go to the Never Alone Foundation until the end of the year.
You could keep donating to...
And you can also just go to their website and donate to them directly also if you don't feel like going to Patreon.
A large chunk of people are currently donating to, they're patrons for YouTubers, they're patrons for gamers on Twitch and stuff like that. And I sit here and I think to myself, well, if you're a patron for those people, you could give $1.
Yeah, well, I thought about it too. Like we did at first. That's why we set it up to try to fund the show a little bit. But I'm in a place where the show's fine. We're okay. Yeah, I'd like to make money off it, but honestly, who cares? I'd rather help somebody else out, and we're just having a good time. And what we have some of the best listeners, as Paco calls them, the Vanishers. You guys are the best ever.
Paco's still a
stickers made. Oh yeah, he says hi.
Is he still alive?
Oh yeah, he says hi.
Where's he hiding?
Driving coast to coast in truck, man.
Oh, so he's delivering the diseases
driving. Yeah.
across the country.
No, he's keeping America going is what he's doing in reality. But again, Never Alone Foundation. You can just, if you don't feel comfortable going to the Patreon and whatever, just go to the Never Alone Foundation's page, and I will link that soon to the Facebook, and you can go there and donate. But just drop a mention. Hey, Vanishing Gates said, hey, we heard about you from Vanishing Gates or something like that, and donate that way. That way they know that we're actually talking about it. I don't want them to think that, hey, buddy, I want to raise money for you, and then nothing happens. So worst case scenario. But again, if you go to our Patreon and you become a patron, 100% of the proceeds till the end of the year will go to the Never Alone Foundation, which is a great foundation, awesome people, super dope.
People need help.
And they're great.
People need help in these trying times.
Other than that, next week we're going to talk about haunted missions.
Yeah, except for when I texted you for some reason, I said
haunted
missionary.
You said haunted missionary. I'm like, is that a sex position? Like,
I
was so confused. I'm like,
I read that back.
Haunted missionary.
Haunted missionary.
I don't think I've done that one.
What? And I'm like, that doesn't sound right in my head. What is haunted missionary?
So confused.
I'm like, isn't it just mission?
Oh, Bridget and Chet missed a terrible trio. Well, we're also, Bridget, just to make you feel better, we're working on, I'm going to order this soundboard thing that has Skype ability, push of a button, so I don't have to worry about all the rigmarole of trying to get the computer to work right with it.
Look at him with his
and
big
then
words.
Paco will be around much more often, at least vocally, maybe not visually. If you notice, though, on the plague mask behind me, plague mask, that's funny, there's actually some of Paco's sunglasses if you're watching the live stream.
Just a memory.
Or the video. Yeah.
Memorial.
In Memento Mori? He's not gone. What are you talking? He's not dead. He's just driving around.
Plague mask, Paco's classes. It sounds
anyway,
like a curse.
So we'll catch you guys next week.
Paco.
Okay, again, so the new live stream time, 7 Pacific Standard Time on Sunday nights. If for some reason my job becomes, quote, non-essential, I'll probably be doing a show every damn day.
You'll never see me again.
What? He doesn't mean that. Why are you lighting a lighter? Most of the people listening to this are going to be on the podcast format.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. I don't know why I did it.
Any damn thing you're doing.
Yeah, I feel it.
Anyway, guys, I'm Jay, and this is...
This is the Always Prepared, Jack.
All right. You want to do your thing?
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.
Good nightmares.